occurrence number or ratio number. Right, that's the idea. What you will see when you're going to read the chapter, you will find those concepts. So now we will do some exam type problems. And again, you don't need to convert the whole financial statement, but we will do some problems. So we're going to do everything here from 6 to 12. Okay, so these will be exactly like very small, quick, multiple choice questions. So let's do all from 6 to 12 quickly. So please read problem number 6. And you need to use the cheat sheet, the chart that I showed you. You have to use the chart, read what is the functional currency, what is the functional currency, what method you're going to use, whether it's the temporal or the current rate, and you have this cheat sheet, and then look at the items that you need to convert. So it's not the whole entire balance sheet, only a couple of items. Account receivables, 2 types, current and long-term, land and patent. And they already converted the numbers. You just need to figure out what should be under each method. I don't think we can solve it here. Okay, let's see who can help me. So these are the certain balance sheet items for Orchid Company. So this is the parent company, USA, and they have a foreign subsidiary. Now, number 6, what is the functional currency of the subsidiary company? Let's see who can help me, Liam or Ashley. What is the functional currency of your subsidiary company?
We'll be using the current rate.
So here, functional currency is a foreign currency. Very good. So you're going to use the current rate. So that's the first item you need to figure out. Current rate method. So now look at the current rate column. Look at the current rate column of your cheat sheet, and then find out the items. Find out the items that the problem is asking. Here, find out the item. Account receivable, current long-term, land, patent. So account receivables, I don't have any extra table, but someone can help me. Here, I got it. Account receivables, look here. So cash and receivables, no matter receivable is your short term, that means you're gonna receive it in 6 months, or long term, that means it will take more than a year. So what rate you need to use? What rate you need to use? Current. So what do you mean by current rate? Which date's rate? Current rate means which date's rate? Most recent, that means usually it's on December 31st. But you know, they actually gave you the current rate converted number. So if you look at the items for current rate converted number, so here for account receivables, both types, current and long, we're going to use the current rate number. They actually converted it. Now, how about land and patent? Look at the table again. Tell me about land and patents. If I need to convert land, which rate we gonna use? Current, right? Because current rate is simple. All assets liabilities will be current rate. How about patent?
Current.
Current? Actually, how did you find it? I don't see patent here. Intangible assets. Everyone got it? Everyone got it? Here, Kevin and Noah, look. Land. Land is, of course we know, here land is plant, property and equipment. So if you look at this table, land should be considered as an item under plant, property and equipment. Patent. Patents should be considered as an item under intangibles. So here you will see under the current rate, all converted by using the current rate. So these are the current rate converted numbers. So if I ask you to convert all these 4 items under the current rate method, what will be the total number? 430, right? It's given. Is it clear? Everyone got it? Anthony, what should be the answer? Number 6.
430.
430, because current rate, very simple. All items, all assets will be converted by using the current rate. Very good. Is it clear, Kyle? Let's see here. Kevin, is it clear? Okay. Nicole, you are here? Okay, very good. Let's do next one. The next one, number 7. Let's see who can help me. Who can help me? Gianna and Victoria. P will help me. What's the functional currency, Gianna? US dollar is the functional currency. So what method we're going to use? Victoria? We're going to use the temporal method. Look at the temporal column. It's a little bit different than the current rate. So we're going to use the temporal method. Noah, look at the temporal column and tell me if you need to convert account receivable, what rate you're going to use. Yeah, because if you look at this table, so for account receivables, cash and receivables, under the temporal column, it's the current rate. Great. So for my receivables item, we're going to use the current rate. That means 200,000 and 100,000. Kelvin, how about land and patent under the temporal column? Look at here under the temporal column. Land and patent. What rate we going to use? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so. Tell me.
Oh. Yes. Look at the temporal column, and I'm asking about land and patent. Historicals. Okay. Because land and patents means PPE and intangibles both will be historical. Now if I go back to the problem, and you will see historical means this column. So what should be your total number of items here when you're going to use the temporal? Who can tell me? 2 are current, 2 are historical. Conrad or Jake, what's the total amount here?
440,000.
You got 430?
40.
440? Let's see. Who else can help me? Conrad got 440 because 2 items are current, 2 items has been converted using current, 2 items has been using historical. Is it 440, please? Jake, you got 440? Everyone? Victoria, see, everyone got 440? Rebecca, Bianca? Okay, good. So you see, your multiple choice questions will be like this, not tricky. Now let's do problem number 8 and 9. Joe, Kyle, is that fine? 6 and 7? Number 6 and 7. You see, it's not tricky. Even you don't need the calculator or very little calculation. Let's read number 8 and 9. How are you doing, Nick? Good? Everything is fine? Okay. So let's see, 8 and 9. Read the problem. Newberry has a subsidiary in Argentina. Functional currency is the dollar. You know what method you have to use. They purchased inventory on credit on November 1st for 100,000 peso. They sold it November 1st, 17. They sold it on January 17th, 18, 130 pesos. And they paid for the inventory on January 31st, 18. And for different rate, you have peso and dollar exchange rate. Now, what amount Newberry should report for their inventory? So, first tell me, who can tell me what method we're going to use here? What is the functional currency? If you read the first paragraph, Joe.
Functional currency is the U.S. dollar, so temporal.
Very good. Functional currency is the US dollar, so we're gonna use the temporal. And I'm asking about inventory. Kyle and Joe. Anthony is not here. Mike. Inventory. Joe, help me. It's the temporal method. Look at the temporal column and check inventory. Inventory will be recorded at what rate? Okay, there is a trick. You see, you may have to report inventory either, did I talk about LCM? What does it mean? LCM. LCM means lower of cost or market. So at the end of every year, you have to check what is the value of your unsold inventory. Now, you have to check what was the purchase price, what was the market price. Cost price of the inventory versus the market price. We always follow conservative accounting, so we'll see which one is the lower. It's called lower of cost or market. So if you see that your cost price of the inventory is lower, you will record the inventory at cost. If you see that market price is lower, you're going to record it at market. Right. And if you see that price went down, you need to write down the inventory value. Right. So usually problems will tell you whether they used the inventory at cost or market. Right. If the problem doesn't say anything, we're going to use inventory is recorded at cost. Because this is usually the standard, because market price always goes up. So if no information is given about your inventory valuation, we will consider inventory is recorded at cost. Because if you look at the temporal column, you will see the two different rates. If inventory is at cost, you're going to use the historical. If inventory is at market, we're going to use the current rate. So since nothing is mentioned, did they mention anything? So they didn't mention anything, but here we'll see one other problem it mentioned specifically if inventory is at cost or market. So since nothing is mentioned, so we should know LCM, lower of cost or market. If nothing is mentioned, we will assume, I'm just writing a note.
The fact that you sold it for more after you bought it doesn't have any effect.
Sorry, Kai,
The
yeah?
fact that you sold them for more than what you bought it doesn't have any effect.
Well, that's completely different thing. That will have an effect on gross profit because they mention the sales price, right? Yes, of course, that will be a part of your sales revenue, and we are going to calculate the gross margin, right? But when we record the inventory, it will not have any impact, whatever the sales price. Okay, so since this concept is really important, so let's talk a little about out of this chapter. When you purchase inventory, what's the journal entry? Say, for example, it's a credit purchase. Quickly, you purchase inventory. It's a credit purchase. Come on, all seniors, juniors. Debit, inventory, and credit. Very good. It's a very simple thing. If you purchase inventory, the journal entry is debit inventory, credit accounts payable. If you pay cash, then you credit cash. Now, when you sell inventory, what should be the journal entry? If you sell inventory, remember from Financial Accounting 221, you need to do two journal entries. Remember here, when you sell your inventory, you need to do two journal entries. One entry is to record. Can you please write a note here? This is just kind of reviewing your old concept. To record sales revenue. Sales revenue. You are selling inventory, so you need to do two journal entries. One journal entry is to record the sales revenue, and another journal entry is to record the cost of goods sold. Right. Now let's try to remember the journal entry. When you make your sale, you have to record sales revenue. Let's say it's a credit sale. So we're going to debit account receivable and we will credit sales revenue. If it's a cash sale, you can debit cash, right? If you receive cash right away. So this is to record the sales revenues. And these items we record it at per the sales price. Of course, we sell the inventory at a higher price. That's why how and they sell it at a higher price. This is how they make money. And the difference we call it gross margin. So you have to record this journal entry as per the sales price. Now you have to record your cost of goods sold. So who can remember how to record cost of goods sold? Cost of goods sold. What type of account is it? Cost of goods sold. Is it a revenue? Is it an expense? Is it an asset? Is it a liability? Cost of goods sold. Where you usually see the item, cost of goods sold, appear on your balance sheet or income statement, cost of goods sold. You took cost accounting, cost of goods sold. Income statement. So cost of goods sold is on your income statement. So it should be either a revenue or an expense, cost of goods sold. Now it's your call, expense or revenue? Expense. So it's an expense, so you have to debit it, so you're going to debit cost of goods sold. And since you are selling inventory, you have to credit inventory. Now, the most important thing what I want to emphasize, this journal entry will be recorded as per the cost price of inventory. Cost or purchase price of inventory. Right. So, let's take an example. Walmart, they sell a smart TV. Right. So when they purchase a smart TV from Samsung, one smart TV, they purchased it for $300. And they will sell it for $500. Let's, for example, $500. So when they are selling one smart TV, that's their inventory, they will record as per the sales price, $500. Right. And when they bought that TV, which was their inventory, they bought it as $300. The cost price of that inventory was $300. So they're going to record it, the second journal entry, your cost of goods sold, as per the purchase price of the TV, which is $300. So how much gross margin they are making selling this one TV? So gross margin, how can you calculate gross profit or gross margin? Or if I subtract sales, cost of goods sold from sales, what do you call it? Sales minus cost of goods sold, what do you call it? Actually, sales minus cost of goods sold. Sales minus cost of goods sold. Contribution margin? You are very close. Actually, sales minus variable expense is contribution margin. But sales minus cost of goods sold is? Operating income will be on way lower. Sales minus cost of goods sold. You have to tell it. Come on. Yes, no one. Gross profit, Gianna? Yeah, it's the gross profit. You know, sales minus cost of goods sold, we call it gross margin or gross profit. Then you subtract all of your operating expense, which we call operating income. Then you subtract your depreciation, tax, interest, EBITDA, right, EBIT, net income. But here, I want to focus here, it's the gross margin. Sales minus cost of goods sold is the gross margin. What Nick was thinking, there is another way, contribution margin approach income statement. Those who took managerial or taking your cost accounting, you know, when you subtract your variable expense, that's called the contribution margin. Then you have to subtract your fixed expense. And there are several ways. This is for internal management. But here for external management, sales minus cost of goods sold is gross margin. So if you look at these two journal entries, what's the gross margin? By selling one TV, what's the gross margin here? $200, right. So here I just want to recall you that cost of goods sold will be recorded as per the cost price, because we will see the same thing on our next problem. So for problem number 8, inventory, since nothing is mentioned, if nothing is mentioned, so our inventory, we will assume it's at cost. But many problems will say whether inventory is recorded at cost or market. So inventory is at cost. So look at your column. Inventory is at cost. What rate you gonna use? We are doing the temporal. Inventory is at cost. Someone tell me, inventory is at cost. What rate? What rate? Historical or current? Inventory is at cost. Historical. Inventory, we are doing it, okay, I'll slow down. We are doing the temporal method, and since there is no information about inventory, whether inventory is recorded at market price or cost price, if no information, we will assume inventory is at cost, and if inventory is at cost, what rate we're going to use? The historical rate. So historical means that date rate when inventory is purchased. So inventory is purchased on which date? Inventory is purchased on which date? Inventory is purchased. Look at your problem, please. Inventory is purchased on which date? So it's November 1st. Inventory is purchased on November 1st. So this is the historical date for your inventory. So we're going to use this November 1st exchange rate. So if you use November 1st exchange rate, 1 peso is equal to 16 cents. You have how much? 100,000 pesos. So what will be the inventory value if we use the historical rate? And for our inventory, historical rate means November 1st rate. So what's the answer? A, B, C, D, E. What do you think? A, B, C, D, E. Noah, you are here? A? Okay, very good. It's actually A, right? You don't need the calculator. It's 16 cents, 100,000 pesos. So, here the answer is A, and you can look at your cheat column. It's the historical rate. So, you have to make sure what do you mean by historical rate? Which date we're going to consider? When that item is created. Okay? So, when you do a regular entry, what are the dates you follow to record? So, this is number A. Now, next problem talks about your cost of goods sold. And here comes the concept that I just mentioned, the basic concept. When you sell inventory, you have to record cost of goods sold. Remember, cost of goods sold is always recorded as per the purchase price of the inventory. Right. Now, here we can look at our column, temporal column. Cost of goods sold will be recorded at which rate? Historical rate, right? If you look at the temporal column, cost of goods sold is recorded as historical rate. So historical rate means here we're gonna follow this November 1st rate. Right, because cost of goods sold when you record, it's actually the rate is associated with the inventory value. And inventory value is actually created, the item is created on November 1st. So again, we're going to use this November 1st rate. So the answer will be, again, here, 16,000. Right. So remember, cost of goods sold and inventory, we record it as per the purchase price. And for these items, the historical date means when the item is created. When the item is created means when you purchase the inventory first. So you purchase the inventory first on November 1st. So this is the historical rate. Don't worry about when they sell the inventory. It's about when they purchase the inventory. Right. So now let's do number 10 and 11. It's again you have this inventory. You have this inventory item and marketable securities. Can you try it? 10 and 11, it's not tricky. And you just need to read it carefully whether inventory is recorded or carried at cost or market. Let's do number 10. Number 10 first. And try to do it in a group. And talk to your friend. Figure out what is the functional currency. Functional currency. Yes, please. No, because no cost of goods sold is recorded as historical rate. So historical rate means it is associated to your inventory. So when inventory is purchased, that's the rate cost of goods. So inventory is purchased inventory, it is considered, you record the journal entry on the sales date. You are right. In that sense, you are right. You record the journal entry on the sales date. But cost of goods sold, actually we consider the inventory purchase date as its history. So in that sense, you are correct. Because we record the journal entry of sales, but we will not use the sales date rate. We will be using the inventory purchase date. Okay, it's a little bit confusing. It makes difference when you're gonna record the sales revenue. So if you need to convert the sales revenue, you're gonna use the sales date. It will make a difference. Yeah? Sales revenue. Yeah, so this sales here, so if you need to convert the sales revenue, you're gonna use this. And the pay here, so these payments, remember the transaction, and the showing your stock receivable and sales. And the pay, your journal entry, stock receivable will be credited, cash, oh no, these payments are for the account payable. So these are I'll help you. So please try to imagine the journal entry. So in the purchase is this is the bill of payment. Debit account. Right, these are the next they don't need to. So if they have corresponding items, say for example sales revenue will be converted based on sales revenue. Accounts payable, because accounts payable usually follow current rate. If there is doesn't matter. Current rate will be
Like the last chapter, you will have to.
I see. Oh, you are kind of giving a lot. Okay. Yeah. But only down here, the cost and goods is created on the day you sell, right? But basically, we're gonna consider historical date as the inventory. Yeah, I was confused too, and okay. Yeah, no problem. Okay, so let's see who has a number. Who has an answer? Number 10. Who can help me? But thank you. Number 10. What's the functional currency? Quickly. Number 10. We're gonna play the game before we take a break. What's the functional currency? Number 10. Number 10. What's the functional currency? Number 10.
Yeah.
So what method are we going to use? Current rate? Okay. So what are the items? It says marketable securities and inventory. So is there any information inventory is recorded at cost or market under the LCM method? Okay, they say it under the lower of cost or net realizable value. It's the same. Net realizable value means if you want to convert or realize the inventory, what would be the value? Okay, so they actually mentioned it that inventory is carried at cost. So we will consider inventory is recorded at cost. Okay, it's lower of cost or net realizable rule. Net realizable or market value, same thing. So inventory is recorded at cost. So this is actually clear here. Now you have two items, marketable securities and inventory. Right. And what method we're going to use? One is the functional currency. One is a foreign currency. So what method we're going to use? Current or temporal? One more time. Nicole. Current. Okay. So look at the current rate column. So if you look at the current rate column, marketable securities inventories, both are converted by using what rate? What rate? Current rate? Right? So what do you mean by current rate? Which date's rate we're going to consider? Which date? Current rate means which date? Current rate means the day when you are converting this. When do we convert it? At the end of the year, which is what? December 31st. So current rate means what? December 31st rate on the last day of your accounting period, right? So that means here, December 31st rate is here, 19 cents. So current rate, we're gonna use current rate. Current rate means December 31st rate. So both are 100,000 on. So marketable securities and inventory will be 19,000. Right, this is the answer, number D. Is it correct, number D? Mike, you look confused. You are fine. Anthony? You got it? Kyle? Joe? Now how about the next one? Then we're going to play the game. Next one, 11. Tell me someone quickly. You see, it's multiple choice, very basic. You don't need to use any calculator, even you can do it. Okay, so someone tell me the next one. What's the answer? A, B, C, D, E?
C.
C. Okay, who helped me? Thank you very much. And tell me why. Why C? What method we gonna use? What's the functional currency? Number 11. What's the functional currency?
The US dollar.
US dollar. So what method we gonna use? Temporal method. Look at the items. Marketable securities and inventory at cost. So for marketable securities, temporal, what rate we gonna use? Current, right? So temporal method, look at the temporal method. Temporal and marketable securities, we're gonna use current. Again, current means December 31st. Inventory at cost. What rate we gonna use? Inventory at cost. Under the temporal, inventory at cost. Yes, Sam, inventory at cost. Historical means the day you purchase the inventory. So which date you purchase inventory? Inventory is purchased when? April 1st. So April 1st rate will be the historical rate for inventory. So that means marketable securities we are using this 19 cents, and for inventory we are using this 16 cents. Right. So what's the answer? A, B, C, D. What's the answer? C? Yeah, it's the answer C. So marketable securities will be 19,000 and inventory 16,000. Okay. So you know what? Before we take a break,